The Salt of the Earth is a book that contains the interview done by Peter Seewald with the Cardinal Ratzinger. In this book, the interviewer, Peter Seewald, asks the Cardinal some very elementary questions, like the language that he uses to speak with the Holy Father and the habit that he wears when he goes for the interview. Cardinal Ratzinger mentions that when he meets with the Holy Father, he wears a cassock and they converse in German. And then Peter Seewald goes into much deeper level and asks him so many questions about the church. Then he asks him whether praying every day would make him very tired and boring, because every day you are praying to God, and the repetition of these prayers has a tendency to make the person very bored and tired. And then Cardinal Ratzinger replies to that question by saying, dealing with God every day is a necessity for me. For just as we have to breathe every day, just as we need light every day, and have to eat every day, just as we also need a friendship every day, and truly need certain people every day, dealing with God is one of the absolutely fundamental elements of life. If God suddenly disappeared, my soul would not be able to breathe properly. In that sense, there is no boredom here. It can occur when it comes to certain pious practices, in relation to certain devotional readings, but not in relation to God as such. What a beautiful statement it is. We will never feel tired of our relationship with God. It is like the air we breathe in. It's like the water we drink for our sustenance. God is part of our existence, and He is there to give us everything that is needed in life. That's the idea the Cardinal wanted to project in that discussion with the interviewer. Then about the question of the relevance of faith, the Cardinal was asked what was his understanding of the faith, and he says, many a time people do not transmit the right understanding of the faith. Faith in its purity should be conveyed to people. There are all kinds of accretions that have happened to the faith through the centuries. Many people associate faith with traditions and rituals, but that's not. What's important is our relationship with God, and that's the gospel that has to be preached, that Jesus is love and that Jesus is Savior of people. And therefore he says, we have to free up the authentic kernel of the faith from encrustations and to give this kernel strength and dynamism. This impulse is the constant of my life. It would have also ruled out my withdrawing into an anti-church opposition. So that is how faith has to be preserved in its purity and in its depth. And he says, there has been a collapse even of simple religious information. This naturally forces to ask, what is our catechesis doing? What is our school system doing at a time when religious instruction is widespread? I think that it was an error not to pass on more content. So what's needed in religious instruction is to pass the real content of our faith to our children and to make them know that the gospel is knowing Jesus and loving Jesus. So this is the most important aspect of the discussion in this book. Then also with regard to the lapse of morality in the contemporary society, Cardinal says, the Western countries are no longer capable of preaching a message of morality, but have only know-how to offer the world. The Christian religion has abdicated. It really no longer exists as a religion. The Christians no longer have a morality or a faith. all that is left are a few remains of some modern ideas of enlightenment. We have the religion that stands the test. So our duty is to make our faith known and to practice our faith in the world in which we live. Then the power of Christian faith will become realized, and people would know that faith is their pillar of support. Thank you very much.